Hi, I'm Carl. I'm the lead physiotherapist for Atherapy. We're a national network of sports medicine and physiotherapy clinics across the country based in Virgin Active Health Clubs. And the MD of Atherapy, if you check us out on the website, is the performance director of the New York Knicks and England's football physio, and also got a long history in sport, and effectively, ironically, is from in the UK. My personal experience is I worked in NHS for over a decade and worked in lots of specialist areas as a senior: spines, hand injuries, A&E, orthopaedics, intensive care, neurosciences. So basically, if any of you fall off your bike or hurt yourself in any way, then I'm sure I've come across it before. My main thing is obviously working with Steve with regards to Absolute is that to optimise movement and performance is obviously really my passion really in terms of physio. And the whole point of it really is to work together with Steve and you to help you reach your goals. So if the inevitable and probably unfortunate does happen and you hurt yourself, we look forward to getting you back on track or back on your bike or back in the pool and performing.
Okay, so just here to play with Carl. Just thinking, Carl, just talk us through the performance matrix that we're putting together for the athletes. And just talk a little bit about what it is, and then we'll talk about how we use it for the athletes later.
Okay, so ultimately, the performance matrix is an analysis system of movement. So all of us will move in our own unique way. Yeah. So you'll know that someone will run slightly differently, will swim slightly differently, will walk, will move, will stand up and sit down slightly differently. The ultimate thing about the analysis of that though is if you can work out for someone as an individual where they move well, so where they move efficiently, then or inefficiently, then you can obviously then bespoke or tailor their training or their exercise to truly work on their weak points and their weak links. So the whole point of this is to have a very individualised assessment of them rather than something that is very generic. So for example, everyone will be familiar with the term of core stability, and you need to have a stronger core to be good at running, let's just say. But not everybody will be weak in the same way. Not everybody will be efficient or strong in the same way. So ultimately, the idea of us using the performance matrix is that if you come on board with Absolute, that it's bespoke to you. That the whole point is that we'll work out and analyse how we're going to prevent you getting injured, how we're going to optimise your movement and your performance by analysing and affect you uniquely.
Yeah. So I guess one of the important things there for us at Absolute is that we're getting new athletes that we take on board, all have to go through this performance matrix. As Carl says, the purpose of that is that we can identify strengths they may have, but also weaknesses. So once you've done your performance matrix, so how long does it normally take? What's involved in the process there?
Yeah, so obviously we take place here at the gym. It takes roughly about an hour to do the tests, and it's effectively 10 tests of movement. So 5 of them are what we call low threshold, so just really looking at how you can control movement, shoulder, hip, knee, back. And then the other 5 things are a little bit more challenging, so moving fast, jumping up and down off a step, and really kind of from that then takes me then roughly probably another half an hour to analyse that and put together then the priorities for your exercise.
Right, so once we've done that then, I guess importantly is that we're then going to give the athletes something to do. So it's not just about coming along and doing some sort of assessment. I guess the assessment's only as good as how we interpret it. So what are we going to give the athletes to do once they've done the tests and you've been through it?
So there'll be a priority 2 or 3 exercises that are about their weak links. Yeah. So different to everybody else, just uniquely for you. That ultimately will be probably your daily little bit of corrective work. But also then, so we communicate with yourself, we're looking at kind of what we then give you to do in terms of your ongoing gym-based work, let's say. Again, that can be tailored through the if you like, the weak links that we've highlighted from the assessment. But ultimately, the real uses in the tool is to repeat it.
Yeah. So
instead of it being that we're just going to give you some exercises because you need to be stronger here, when we repeat it, we can see where you've progressed. We can see we can have priorities in terms of what element of your performance are you struggling most with. So it becomes something that is very adaptable and changeable, but ultimately gives you some very definite markers for progress, something objective to show where you're trying to get to.
Cool. Well, I guess the key thing that we, having this really good relationship with Carl now in this performance matrix is that I guess it's fair to say that triathlon you're becoming far more knowledgeable about triathlon, and you're seeing a good number of athletes already that you can almost look at what they might determine as their weaknesses, but also I might determine as their weaknesses from a performance level. And then from that we can start looking back at the performance matrix and identifying things that we can do even later on at some stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the good thing is it's that evolving model.
Yeah.
So as someone's performance priorities, goals change, it's something that we can adapt and evolve alongside them. So I suppose it's that kind of thing of that we know that, whatever your goals, whatever the level, whether it's to reach an age group world champion, or whether it's just to do something for fun, ultimately the whole principle of this is that we can then give you the things that will keep you injury free, will keep you enjoying your sport, and can obviously kind of evolve as you progress in your training.
Yeah, I think that's key, isn't it? That this is all about trying to prevent injury, and by doing that, hopefully people can train more consistently and get improved. Okay, so I guess you're based in Nottingham, Carl. So for those athletes that are based at Absolute Tri in Nottingham, obviously they get fairly quick access to you. What about athletes that you pick up around the country? Is there options that we can sort of delve into?
Yeah, absolutely. So the way the Atherapy network works is that obviously with my relationship with Absolute is that if they're an athlete from anywhere around the country, then they get a priority within any of our clinics. And basically our most northern clinic is Preston, but we also have Leeds, Bolton, 2 in Manchester, Sheffield, Solihull, Milton Keynes, Northampton. We've got 4 in inner city London, and we'll soon be going as far down as Poole in Dorset. So basically that relationship will extend to nationwide in terms of where we are. We all have the performance matrix, and obviously they all can then report back to me or directly to Steve. So we have a really nice national spread and a network to look after athletes wherever they're based.
Excellent. Okay, I guess if they also came down here, because a lot of them will come here anyway for perhaps an assessment. If they came here for an assessment, if they live near one of those clinics, you could pass that information on so that they could be treated and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It doesn't mean they have to come. The key thing here, I guess, you haven't got to come to Nottingham every single time to either have some treatment or to do the next phase of the performance matrix. They should be doing that to different areas.
All of the clinicians are trained in the performance matrix. We have a centralised system. So essentially the whole performance matrix is web-based.
Yeah.
So obviously in terms of an athlete, you get your own PDF that's written about where your weak links are and where you need to progress. But obviously then if the second screen, it was easy to do that back home in London. It could be done in London, but it's all on the same system, so we can both see it in very much in a live sense there.
Excellent.